Take it away.
Good morning, Nigeria. Like I always say, the TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, my team and I, we do our best to bring you the trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today with some juicy politics, where the African Action Congress candidate for the November 8th Anambra governorship elections, Chioma Ifemeludike, is stirring conversation online. Now, after releasing a series of campaign photos and videos that promote inclusive governance while challenging long-standing patriarchal norms in Nigerian politics, she's taking center stage. Let's have a look at this.
In Anambra State, men in Anambra State believe that, like they say in Igbo language, "Waine tukwe tuku, aman chi obudai." It means that a woman that's squats to urinate cannot oversee the affairs of Anambra State. You know, you keep hearing it all the time from, male chauvinists, and you could tell.
Now, her message quickly went viral, not just for its content, but for the bold campaign imagery, which some people say was too revealing for a political figure. In pictures that we're not going to post here, it's not just her front that you saw, it was the backside as well. And the post has since drawn thousands of mixed reactions online. Supporters praise her confidence and her fresh approach to leadership, while other people are arguing that the focus should remain on her policies and not her appearance. In a response, the AAC has now released a statement condemning sexist language towards their candidate. But the big question that many people are asking is, should our female politicians be held to a stricter standard of modesty? Or is society simply focusing on the wrong things? Let's take a look at social media. This is very interesting. She gave us, Chris said, "If I represent the whole of Anambra State, I'll not take you seriously." Why? Politics is not Instagram. You can hang up those pictures on your social media platforms, no problem. But in a space where we don't have enough representation for women, this is counterproductive. Let's see what somebody else had to say. Obina Darlington says, "You are already the winner because you've got all the attributes and ingredients to be the governor." Congrats, my governor. Now, team, like I said earlier on, the photos weren't just of the dress that she's wearing. It was her posterior chain as well that showed. My question is this: what do you make of it? On one hand, I say she's a progressive, a modern woman. Her look should not define, her candidacy or her campaign. It should be her policies and her approach to leadership in Anambra State. On the other hand, you want to dress how you want to be addressed. Chioma.
Oh, boy. Well, I have to go a little bit back in time to history. A one-time governor of Akwa Ibom State, Akpan Isemin, told his competitor, Etimokboyo, that turned out to be a very handsome man that dresses very well and all that. And he said, "This is politics, it's not beauty contest." So I will say the same thing to Chioma Dike. This is politics, it's not Instagram. I don't think the Nigerian political scene is mature enough to take these kind of photographs seriously. If she came out looking modest, looking Nigerian idea of responsible, and then spinning out policies, spinning out ideas for the development of her state, a lot of people will take her more seriously than these photographs we're seeing. These are the photographs we see on social media, posterior, frontal, and so on. Chioma. I don't know what to say again.
But Chioma, you've left Chioma speechless.
Olamide, I want to believe that Chioma is looking for, let me just say, she wants to do content that she's looking for a lot of, following, and she wants people to talk about her, because I definitely do not want to see my governor, if I was from Anambra, looking like a sex symbol. I'm sorry to say that. But we always say something. At the end of the day, the way you look is the way you'll be addressed. You're coming out, you say you want to be governor of a state like Anambra State, and you think that these are the best pictures to post. It's sad that as women, we already know the barriers that, restrict us. So it's sad that we now come out and do this kind of thing again. You can look very beautiful with that beautiful shape, because her shape is beautiful, I'll give it to her, but you can wear something really nice and still look classy. This is not looking classy to me. This is looking very trashy. So I just want to believe that, she was trying to let people talk about her, which is what is happening, because we're getting to talk about her. But if you really want to be serious with politics, this is not the look.
Well, as Yoruba will say, they'll say the matter is very hard. and then that matter actually puts salt in your mouth. At the same time, added, fat in it. So you do not know whether to lick the salt or to spill they spill out the fat. So I actually don't know how to approach this. But one thing is, there is this society where it is highly patriarchal. In fact, most parts of the world is highly patriarchal. It's always the men. And when we have the women coming out to break the glass ceiling, there are issues. People will look at, how is she dressed? How does she talk? How does she present ideas? Let us focus on ideologues, where people put out their ideas. But it's not very difficult when you know the kind of society you're coming to serve. You know that this is the way they see things, this is the way they behave. You probably could have studied abroad, see the way they do things abroad, they don't care the way they dress, you see how people dress on CNN, and then you feel like, it's just a normal thing. But we're forgetting the fact that Nigeria is an African society. It's a society that, largely, morality is not only on the way you talk, the way you walk, but the way you're dressed. So if the states you're representing do not feel comfortable with the way you dress, who is the PR manager for this party?
The thing is that, Ibrahim, they should not even feel comfortable. We're always talking about the Western world. Even when you see Kamala, she's dressed well. Yes. You see her looking really nice, corporate, looking good. Just like me, a journalist, there are some certain things I will not wear. When you know that there's a profession you want to do, I'm not going to come on TV with such a tight dress, very revealing, because how do I want people to perceive me? People will not take what I'm saying serious, because first of all, they're looking at different things that will distract them. We all have hot bodies, but if you want to come out and say you want to do something that has to do with politics, you need to position yourself well.
Another thing, somebody might just be looking at that photograph and thumbprint.
Mistakenly thumbprint.
Then that is a bad way to vote. God forbid. That's not the right way. That's not what you should vote for.
Please, let me come in here. I have listened to one of her interviews. She is quite cerebral. She is intelligent and so on. Those are the qualities she would have put forward, not her body.
So if she's intelligent, fine, but then you dress like you're intelligent.
Some don't see it the other way. They don't take it, the way we are probably, taking it.
Ibrahim,
I don't even know where
I don't think you want your governor to look this way.
No. I don't know. But the thing is, it's left for the people to decide, right? And one thing, some people they shatter the glass ceiling with their intelligence alone, just dress like mommy and daddy. And some believe that if I don't dress this way, how do I cry?
But the thing is that, Ibrahim, you can still look very good and be classy as a woman. That's what I'm trying to say.
But to a whole lot of people, it's good. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Some people
Ibrahim, I want us. I do agree with you that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. On the other hand, we have got to contextualize this. This is a woman that is representing a state of people, women and men. We cannot deny the fact that this is sort of a distraction. As a woman myself with lived experience of being a woman, Ibrahim and Etoma, I'll tell you my experience is very different when I dress modestly versus a few times that I've been more risque. It matters.
Exactly.
In media theory, we have a theory called...
In
media theory, we have a theory called the medium is the message, which means that a message can be discarded if the medium is not the proper medium in which you're sending that message. And so Chioma will do well to remember that even if she does get voted in for whatever posterior chain assets she has, who is going to take her seriously?
That's what I want to say, Olamide. Quickly, I'll just add this in. Even with the profession that we do as a journalist, as a lady, there's a way you're expected to dress. If you want to do something like politics, like journalism and all of that, you cannot dress like this and then you're saying a lot of people are making advances at you. What were you selling first?
And Ria, do you know what I find interesting? The AAC actually put out a statement in support of her. Etoma and Ibrahim, did you know that they put out a statement saying that they support her and that we are the ones who are
asking for the PR,
the
PR manager of the party. But my idea of modesty is not even in what we see, this day and age.
What's your idea of modesty, Ibrahim?
I won't say that here.
Ibrahim, we have time, please. Tell us what your idea of modesty is.
It's not my idea of modesty, because so that's why I'm saying that when we criticize someone like this, it's more like this is the thing that we see in the society. It's not the right thing, but then I'm so surprised that people are criticizing that, because it's just the normal thing people see on the street. So when you're not criticizing, is it not double standard?
People see on the street, but not for a person that wants to be governor of a state like Anambra.
Why can't she be governor?
I'm not saying she can't be governor, but that outfit is not the best outfit to come out to it.
Ibrahim and Ria, if you want to sell yourself for a serious office like governor, it was right on this table that I said, once you become a governor, you can't talk anyhow, because everything you say is perceived as policy. If the office is that
but he dresses well, actually.
If the office is that serious, then the person that should occupy the office should look serious, should look modest, and should also sound intelligent.
No, when you say you can't talk anymore, I say that to Donald Trump. He talks the way he sees things.
Absolutely. I for one, will not be contesting with a picture of my posterior chain. But thank you so much for your input.
Thank you.
Moving on to more serious news, where there was drama at the National Assembly yesterday after officials of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, walked out during a session with the House Committee on Basic Education and Examination Bodies. Now, tensions rose when the JAMB director, Mufutau Bello, who was representing the registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, insisted that journalists be asked to leave the room. Take a look at this exchange.
May I create the indulgence of this committee that what we have brought to this committee are sensitive informations and that we don't require the presence of pressmen. Kindly give us the benefit of that they should excuse us, please.
Mr. Chairman, observation. JAMB.
Okay, observation.
Yes.
Sustain.
JAMB, you don't have that right. If you have such, you just whisper to the chairman, or you whisper to the clerk to tell the chairman. You don't dictate for us when you are here.
Look, this is an ABM retired. Some of us have started.
I am Mufutau Bello. May I create the indulgence of this committee that what we have brought to this committee are sensitive informations and that we don't require the presence of pressmen.
Now, tensions rose after the pushback from lawmakers and JAMB officials walking out of the session. The sergeant at arms was now directed to arrest the officials, but they'd already left the premises. Now, the committee has summoned Professor Oloyede to appear in person on Tuesday, the 4th of November, warning that failure to comply could lead to enforcement under Sections 88 and 89 of the 1999 Constitution. Several lawmakers have described this walkout as a clear disregard for parliamentary oversight and one that raises serious questions about accountability within our public institutions. Let's take a look at social media. Dubem says, another day, another public institution dodging questions in plain sight. And Godwin in Keruwem says, JAMB asking for a no press coverage of their presentation suggests that they have skeletons in their cupboard. It was a public hearing, but you don't want the public to hear you. Now, team, because of a lack of time, we could not play the entire video, but essentially, JAMB officials walked out on the committee, on the National Assembly, a House committee. They basically said that the documents that JAMB, the committee had asked them to present were too delicate to be covered in press. They didn't want journalists present. And JAMB said, it's a public hearing, you know, present these documents, and instead they walked out. JAMB, the committee has now said, you people are going to be arrested if you don't show up next week, Tuesday, because this is flagrant impunity.
Yeah, walking out on a National Assembly committee is not the very best thing to do. For that to have happened, JAMB, or the officials of JAMB, felt seriously about their request. You know, they really didn't want those documents to be public knowledge. Is it not the same JAMB that had this same kind of thing with a National Assembly committee, and we got to hear how snakes and the rest, things like that. It is not nice that something like that has happened. You know, JAMB, those officials shouldn't have walked out.
They shouldn't have walked out at all, but over a period of time, we've reported a lot about JAMB, and, you know, it's not just looking, you know, well for them. Why are they who is trying to hide something from the media? Our eyes are to see it and report it. So when you start hiding something, that means there's a skeleton in the cupboard. So I'm wondering, what are you hiding? Now I want to find out what you're hiding. You know, education is very important. Education should be true, should be just, and there's no time for hiding anything. I think JAMB has to fix their house, basically.
Yeah, I have deep respect for Professor Ishak Oloyede because he had actually done so much in revamping JAMB the way it used to be. You know, Chioma just told us some funny stories that used to happen, but this has never happened in recent times, except for the sabotage that happened, you know, recently. But I feel that two wrongs don't make a right. You are summoned to the lawmaker. We actually called you because the Nigerian people that called you to, you know, give account of stewardship. But I also feel that the lawmakers also have to be very sensitive to some classified documents, because this can actually have, because we just criticized JAMB, over the errors that happened, recently. So if they say that these documents are very, very sensitive, I think the lawmakers should have probably, applied some, diplomacy in that. But working out, at the end of the day, I do not also feel is the right thing. So they should find a middle ground and resolve this problem. Absolutely.
But Ibrahim, for the committee to even suggest or request these documents in the first place, it must mean that they understand that these are not particularly, they're not documents that could affect anything if you think about it. But let's move on.